online right now playing Animal Crossing. Good to know. The judge. I feel like in the middle of my voice acting him, I changed his voice slightly and just like didn't correct it, but you know, whatever. Yes. Well, one must feel one's oats when voice acting, otherwise I don't know where I'm going with this. Can't lose your nerve. I like to think I feel my oats during all of my characters, especially Susato. It is a little unfortunate that I did give her the voice that I did, though, because it's a tiny bit exhausting doing that voice all the time. Alright, here we go. Oh, okay, so we're going back to talking to... These are the witnesses. This is the cab driver and the two guys that were on the upper deck of the carriage. And there's like a little sunroof that they can see through, and the person that died was there, and the other guy who we're defending was sitting next to him. But it looks like the way he was killed was from the front, not from his side. So we spent quite a bit of time convincing the jury, which was 6 people, that it couldn't have been... They all assumed that it was the defendant, and we had to, like, convince them that it wasn't by making them disagree with each other. Overall, I feel like the like, mini-game type things or, like, the segments of the trial are a lot more fluid than, like, a Danganronpa trial, because Danganronpa, it's like, drama, 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 okay, now, like, weird, irrelevant mini-game, okay, back to the drama.
I only carried 4 passengers that night. I swear it. But.
Well, I, for one, was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus.
He fiddled us on the fare, he did. And then I saw that blood-curdling sight as well. It's all too much.
I tell you, I saw McGilded stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands.
Oh, yes. Yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so. Yes?
Not long ago, this trial very nearly came to an end. Somehow, we've managed to keep our chances alive here. I can't waste this cross-examination. I have to use it to bring new facts to light.
If you're not careful when you press the witnesses, the danger is that the jury will end up believing something unhelpful, as they did before.
Maybe, but we can't let the fear of that happening stop us from uncovering important new information.
Yes, you're so right.
It's like it's a little different than the original, but it's similar, yes. She has tons of dialogue. She's a main character. I need to pay careful attention here. Tom, are you planning on watching the second trial, or should I tell you what happened? So basically, Headband-chan, Kazuma, like our bro, he smuggled us on board his ship that he was taking from Japan to Great Britain because he was going on that fancy lawyer in training tour. Yeah, boyfriend, yes. And he wound up dead. So the second trial was us first getting blamed for killing him because they found us in his wardrobe, which is where we were staying. And we spent, it was an entire, like, it was a trial on ship, but it wasn't really a trial. It was just like an extended investigation where you had to find evidence to clear your name. And now Susato is our best friend because she was like head over heels for him, and she's like a judicial assistant, so now she's helping us now that we're trying to carry Kazuma's torch. So we're doing it both because we were studying law to begin with, and because we want to, like, honor him and do, you know, accomplish what he set out to do. So it's actually a really nice story. I am sad that Kazuma died, though, because he was a cool character. He got pushed over by a 15-year-old Russian girl who was fleeing from Russia, because she thought that he was about to alert the captain that she was who, you know, she's like a captive. And instead he was just going to go to the wardrobe to let Pengi out, or Ryunosuke out, so that they could talk. But then she pushed him and he fell and died. I know! Seeing him dead on the floor, the headband wasn't moving, so that's how I knew he was dead. I don't want to miss even a flicker of a reaction among these witnesses. Remember, if you happen to spot one of the witnesses reacting in a strange way, don't hesitate to pursue them as to the reason. We're just gonna press everybody.
I only carried 4 passengers that night, I swear it, but, hold it!
So, there were only 4 passengers on your carriage, but you didn't charge them the standard 4 pence fare. Is that right?
It's impossible to make the last run of the day pay. I was so cold. It was all I could do to stop myself from passing out.
Oh, okay. I'm getting chillblains just listening to you.
It was terrible, so I wanted to give myself a pat on the back for even keeping the bus running.
Oh, hey, Ifrit. Yeah. So we started this one on Sunday night. So it's a little bit of a continuation, but we're not super duper far into it.
Doesn't a dedicated coachman deserve an extra penny per passenger?
Oh, nice, Frick. Yeah, I hope you're feeling better, Ifrit. You're digging a deeper hole for yourself here. So what they're talking about right now is they learned that the cab driver that was driving the cab where the person was murdered was overcharging the occupants. So there's a bill that said that there was 20 pence spent, but there was only 4 passengers, and the rate is supposed to be 4 pence per. So if there was 20, then there could be a mysterious 5th person. But now they're saying that he was charging each person 5 pence instead of 4 pence. So we don't know if he's telling the truth or if there's actually a 5th person that was there. The witnesses seem like they lie kind of often in this game, so we'll have to see. The investigations in this game seem to be a part of the trial process for the most part. If only there'd been a 5th passenger on the omnibus that night, then we would have had another suspect. Oh yeah, this is the guy that we're going up against. He's kind of amazing. I don't remember what voice did I give him. He looks like a vampire, so I think I know the one.
Well, I for one was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus.
Oh shit, I should have pressed that. He filled up on the fare, he did, and then I saw that blood-curdling thigh in the well. It's all so much.
Hold it!
This blood-curdling sight. You mean the murder, I presume? Yes, sir!
A loathsome sight. No one should have to witness the horror in the eyes of a man the moment his life is taken.
Oh, well, not exactly, sir. I mean, I didn't actually see the exact moment the gent was stabbed.
Good gracious, really?
We have another witness who did, however. The banker has already testified to it. But Mr. First didn't actually see the point at which the victim was killed. That may turn out to be very significant. I heard the banker gent next to me take a therp intake of breath, see? That's when I looked through the glass.
That's when I saw the horrible blade poking out of its belly, all covered in blood. Every time I see a knife now, I can't help screaming, even when I'm eating.
I tell you, I saw McGilded stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands.
Hold it!
So you saw the defendant, Mr. McGilded, stabbing the victim, Mr. Mason, who was sitting next to him. That's what I said, isn't it? It was bothering me before. This was. For just a brief moment, he hesitated before answering the question. Anyway, there was only the two of them inside the carriage, wasn't there? There's been much talk of a fifth passenger, but as of yet, zero evidence. And what are we wasting our time for, eh? It's black and white. The man's guilty. Something about Mr. Fairplay's testimony just jars with me. I wish I could work out what it was. Okay, so we need to press the second thing that he says. Jam? Oh, hey. Okay, we already read this.
Hold it!
So we didn't press this the first time. Does that mean everyone on board that night paid 5 pence instead of 4? Well, I paid 5 pence too, sir. And I just told you I did.
A flat fare of 5 pence across the board.
It's not something to be proud of. The so-called discrepancy my learned friend identified was nothing of the sort. Much like the Phantom Killer you so desperately needed, it's gone, dead and buried. I'd have been happy if it had ever existed in the first place. So... do we have any evidence that we can use? So this is probably it. If Fairplay, who's the man with the mustache, was on the list of debtors that owed money to the defendant, then he must have set... maybe he killed the guy below to make it a setup for the defendant so that he wouldn't have to pay him back. Do they want me to present... they might want me to present the fact that, you wouldn't be able to see that he was stabbing him because of the hat? There's also this whole thing with the right glove.
Objection!
The witness's last statement is clearly at odds with this piece of evidence. Oh, no it's not. I'm sorry, Counsel, but I failed to see the connection. Oh! And for heaven's sake, would you kindly desist from that wide-eyed, panic-stricken look you won't... you want to wear. But it's the only panic-stricken look I know. Oh, I didn't press this yet.
Hold it!
Earlier, you testified that you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you?
Oh, yes, that's right.
You said the victim was on the floor and described the assailant holding the knife in an ice pick grip.
I suppose. I might have, yes, put the cart before the horse, maybe.
What's this?
Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was driving the horses when I heard a scream from the seats on the roof deck.
Oh, I expect that with me, sir.
And when I turned around, yes, I saw through the skylight. The gentleman was on the floor, and the knife was sticking up out of his midriff. That's right, yes. The fellow holding the handle was the famous man, yes.
So, in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all.
I really thought I did, but when I go over it again in my head, no, I suppose I didn't actually see the precise moment of the stabbing.
Oh. What is he doing with that?
In fact, now that I come to think of it, it must have already happened when I heard the scream.
Of course. That goes without saying. But I really wish he had said it earlier. The autopsy report makes it quite clear that the victim was stabbed only once. Which means... the banker was witness to the fatal wound that ended Mr. Mason's life. No, you can't like move the camera or anything. Not long ago, yep. Yeah, they're playing this dialogue again. You can... They explained that in the first trial. Oh, really? So that's probably what I have to do then. Let's try again.
Hold it!
Ah, here we go. Good call, Jam. And thanks for the reminder, AG.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay?
Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. You didn't see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that? A.
Are you asking me or telling me? He's getting flustered. I might be able to extract some new information from him if I answer him cleverly. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment of the crime it was committed? I mean, technically, yes, because he's up on the roof. I think it wants me to say no chance, though. Well, it is a little hard to believe, certainly. Unless you spend your time peeping through a skyline on the top of an omnibus, that is.
Peeping? I'm a respectable city banker, I'll have you know. And I know what I saw. I remember it clear as a Ballarat day. It was a grim scene, I don't mind telling you. Thank you, Mr. Fairplay. Oh, excuse me, I was getting a little hot under the collar there, my lord. I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement about what exactly you saw. Oh, I can do that all right. I'll tell you just how grim it was. Do you think I'd forget the sight of those blood-soaked hands after that butcher stabbed the man? Ah.
Hold it!
Blood-soaked?
Well, perhaps soaked is laying it on a little thick, but anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it.
Yeah, the gloves are gonna come into play here. And you saw that from the roof, through the skylight?
Well, the skylight's reasonably large, so I had a pretty good view.
And there was a lamp on the inside of the carriage as well, so I'm sure of what I saw. This banker's latest statement. I feel sure there's something not quite right about it. When you feel something doesn't add up, Mr. Naruhodo, that's when you should have a look through the court record. Not long ago, yeah. I hate how it keeps going back to this. There was a lamp, yes. Oh, wow. They're gonna make me do this whole thing again?
Hold it!
Well, that's kind of annoying. Oh, hey, Armin. Okay, so they're not gonna make me ask him what's wrong again, so that's good. You think I'd forget the sight of those blood-soaked hands after the butcher stabbed the man? Oh my god. Okay. So let's go into the court record. I thought there was gonna be more dialogue after that. Fucking hell. Blood-soaked hands after the butcher stabbed the man. So there's only blood on one glove. So this is what we present.
Objection!
Oh, hey, Storm. How are you tonight? Blood-soaked hands?
Well, I admit that soaked might be laying it on a little thick.
Laying it on a little thick.
But anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it.
We're doing well. We played some Fire Emblem. We're doing some Ace Attorney now, and there's going to be Among Us tonight, so I hope you'll be able to join. Well, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than a little peculiar.
What?
Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGilded, on the night in question.
Oh, yes, right.
And there certainly does not appear to be a sizable dark-colored stain. There certainly does appear to be a sizable dark-colored stain, but as I'm sure you can clearly see, it's only on the right-hand glove.
Urgh!
Oh, he's eating the cane again. Oh, excellent. You've got your knife Excuse me. You've got your knife brandished. In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony is inconsistent.
Arrgh! But no, that can't be right.
So you're the liar here, then? Get him, Phil.
Arrgh!
Yeah, this animation is a lot. That's right. You were quite clear about it. You said, yeah, it was both hands.
Arrgh!
Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, it calls your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed. But is that really the truth?
Arrgh!
Objection!
It was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. Yes, it wasn't both hands. It was only one, but the fact remains. Yeah, he's quite a character, isn't he? The victim's blood was on the accused. I like that a lot.
Objection!
No, Mr. Fairplay categorically stated that he saw blood all over both hands, which means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court.
Arrgh! Why? I'm a city banker, for pity's sake. My word should be the gold standard. I'm a gentleman, not some gutter snipe. Upstanding members of society don't prevaricate? Whoa!
He's claiming to have no reason to lie. But is that really the case? Mr. Naruhodo, if we had some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying, it could turn the tide of this trial completely. Something to show this man has a compelling reason to lie in his testimony. I have the evidence. It's the book with his name in it. My lord?
Yes, counsel.
The defense is ready to present evidence.
By Jove! Are you sure?
Here, take away the bodies.
There's no evidence, we're done. Yes, evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay had reason to lie in his testimony.
Arrgh!
Okay, enough with that weird thing he's doing.
Very well, I hereby call on the defense to present its evidence. The evidence that demonstrates a motive for the witness's alleged deception of the court.
Aha! The debtor's ledger. We've got it. It's right here. Present that shit. Yeah, that animation, it's a little unsettling. I think we can all agree. This is a list of the debtors who owe money to Mr. McGilded. Yes, a list of innocent victims crippled by the accused extortion. The point is, among these names of these debtors is your name, Mr. Bruce Fairplay.
What?
I love the sound effects in this game.
Mr. Fairplay, are you currently indebted financially to the accused? No, well, it's barely worth being called a debt.
According to this ledger, you owe 20 guineas. Not an inconsiderable sum of money, would you say?
Well, what of it?
Where's he gonna get 20 guinea pigs? Let's suppose Mr. McGilded were to be found guilty of murder. What would become of your debt in that case?
These documents state that the loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor, the defendant here, to be sentenced to a capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be annulled. They would cease to exist.
Oh, hey, Fail. Fail, you've seen Van Zykes, right? Because Tom called out that this is a Fail character, and I think a lot of people might like him, actually. But you definitely would like him. Cease to exist? Me too, Mr. Fairplay, is it not the case that you claimed in your testimony to have seen something you never in fact saw in a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant?
Order, order, order! Mr. Bruce Fairplay. Yes, Let me ask you again. And be aware that your answer may have most serious implications upon your future, sir.
Ew, listen to that sound effect they gave it. Maybe he's a guinea pig.
Did you or did you not see the precise moment in time at which the defendant is alleged to have thrust a knife into the victim?
Your silence speaks volumes. You did not tell the truth in your testimony.
All right, now let's not make a melodrama out of this.
Yeah, I don't think he's the murderer either. He's just taking advantage of a situation so that he could get off his debt. But here's the thing. Why was he on that carriage with the person that he owed the money to? That's actually very, very suspicious. Like, what are the odds he's going to be on the same little omnibus thing at night?
Perhaps I did overstate the truth a pinch.
But here's the other thing. Are they gonna go the too obvious route? I would say probably not. But then again, we kind of sort of knew that the Swan Head lady was guilty very early into the trial. Like, we at least, that was in our heads, and it ended up being what happened. So, I'm not sure if they're gonna try to, like, throw a bunch of plot twists, or if it's actually just gonna end up being him, and there's just more to the story that we're gonna learn. A pinch?
But it makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing blood on Mr. McGilded's hands, both of them. It's the judge.
Objection!
And yet, only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained.
So you keep saying.
Oh, what's up with that? I wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir? Yeah, Kevin's napping after his work shift.
Go ahead, Mr. First.
Well, the thing is, think I remember seeing it myself as it happened. Seeing what? The blood, sir, on the assistant's hand. I think, yes. I'm almost sure that it was on both of his hands, not just one. What? Maybe the cab driver killed him. No, probably not.
It would appear that we're going to need further testimony from all of your witnesses. This time, I would like to know precisely what you did and did not see. Do I make myself perfectly clear? Yarsh!
Mr. Naruhodo, this is good news. The course of the trial seems to have shifted slightly at last. Yes. I might finally have a chance to turn things around here. What the witnesses really saw.
There was blood on both hands of the assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose you might say that I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpired, if that matters.
I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both of the attacker's hands with blood on them.
I didn't actually see anything myself. No, not until I heard that scream.
Anyway, the fact remains, there can't have been anyone else inside that carriage or we all would have seen. Well, lo and behold, in truth of fact, not one of you was witness to the crucial moment the crime was perpetrated. I apologize, my lord, but honestly, there was no one else inside that carriage, and the man's hands were covered in blood.
Hey, Aquatic. Pre-gaming the Among Us with some popcorn, I see.
That much incriminating evidence is tantamount to saying we saw the man do it.
That's really not what testimony is about.
Let us examine the interior of the omnibus once more.
Yes. Oh, are you checking out our three houses stuff, or are you playing? Hey, what's up, Dammy? You want to play some Among Us tonight with us?
The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witnesses' accounts.
But they said the victim was on the floor.
In other words, there is no substantial nor significant change in the fact of the case. Very well. Your cross-examination, please, counsel.
Yes, my lord. There was blood on both hands of the assailant.
Hold it!
No, the evidence tells us otherwise. We have the gloves the defendant was wearing on the night in question in the court record.
I'm well aware of that, sir, but nevertheless, I know what I saw, and I stand by it. The man had blood on both his hands.
He's defiant, even in the face of hard evidence. He's steadfastly refusing to admit that he might have been mistaken about what he saw, but why?
Your reasoning is dire. One hand or two, the salient point remains unchanged. Minutes after the grim crime, the victim's blood dripped guiltily from the accused fingers. However, I suppose you might say I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpired.
Don't try to downplay this. Whether or not you saw the exact moment of the crime is a matter of fundamental importance, as you well know.
But for crying out loud, we all know that no one else could have possibly done it. It was just trying to save us all some time.
You have a loan of 20 guineas outstanding with the defendant, do you not? Had you hoped to release yourself from that financial burden by ensuring the defendant was found guilty?
Well, that's not entirely not what I was hoping for. Arg. I just lost a little guinea or 10 when I backed the wrong horse at the Derby, that's all. I was gonna win it all back. There's a fixture this weekend. That's a sure thing.
Ha. A little guinea or 10.
I'm a banker. No one bats an eye if I borrow a little spending money for the weekend. Oh.
So there are other things going on here that are also illegal.
I think you may have revealed rather more about your character than you bargained for, sir.
This witness's scruples are not on trial here. Please proceed to the next witness. Is that really how it's supposed to work? I know, right? Just connects the two sides of his hair.
Hold it!
You definitely saw that too? Blood on both hands?
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up, Dots? Welcome.
I mean, I know what you're going to say. Only one of Mr. McGilden's gloves has any signs of blood on it.
That's right.
The thing is, as far as I can remember, sir, when I looked down and saw Mr. McGilden sitting beside the other fellow, I don't believe he was wearing any gloves, sir.
Huh? He wasn't wearing these gloves?
That's correct, sir. And I saw blood on both his bare hands quite clearly.
It's true that the dark-colored stain on the dark leather gloves wouldn't have been easy to see.
I should point out that the police officer who apprehended the accused on the night in question...
How did Three Houses go? We are really close to the very end of the game. So I think the next time I stream it, we might be able to push for the ending. I would say maximum 2 streams left for Three Houses. I'm actually tempted to maybe throw it in tomorrow, but we do tend to do a lot of Genshin stuff on Sundays, so we'll see. I know, fail. Maybe we'll add Three Houses in during the week this week so we can finish it. I think that sounds like a plan. Heaven forbid we skip Genshin. Well, I kind of like streaming Genshin though, Storm. And also, it's very popular in the community, so... Do you understand? Plus, I really do enjoy playing Genshin a lot, especially after I got Tartaglia.
Reported there was no trace of blood on Mr. McGilden's gloved hands.
There wasn't blood on his hands.
This is puzzling indeed.
This must be significant somehow. I'm sure of it, yes, because that proves that he didn't kill. If he didn't have blood on his hands, then somebody else has the blood-soaked hands. Are any of the people here wearing gloves? That guy is. Where's Jam? Oh god, what if it really was Beppo? Is Malfagor home tonight, Storm?
Hold it!
You didn't see anything.
Oh, yes, sir. That is to say, no, sir, I didn't. Very sorry about what I said before, sir. Very sorry. Yes, it was very wrong of me to make up stories and say I saw him stab the man. Wouldn't you agree, sir?
I know what you're insinuating, but I clearly wasn't making up stories.
Normally, I'm used to Shelby the Killer being the very... Is there really? That sounds like an Ace Attorney thing. Still, to say you saw nothing isn't right either, is it?
No, sir. I saw nothing at all.
Mr. Beppo, you were driving your horses. The victim in one of the cases is named Dead Man. Mr. Beppo, you were driving your horses. At the very least, you must have enjoyed a good view of London's streets, no? Oh, please. You didn't even see that?
It was so cold that night, you see. It was all I could do to keep from passing out, sir. Yes, my head was fairly frozen solid. Sorry to say, sir.
It would seem prudent to avoid travel on the last omnibus service of London's cold winter nights. Oh, I respect this guy with his flask. Beppo! Fact remains, there can't have been anyone else inside that carriage.
Hold it!
This is gonna lead to something big. And everything you saw of the incident was through the skylight on the roof of the omnibus. That's right. It was fiercely cold that night, but the glass wasn't frosted over.
Oh, yes, I remember I was shivering. It was so bitter.
Which rather begs the question of why the pair of you were sitting on the roof deck in the first place. I was wondering that. Well, I don't know about this young fellow, but I couldn't enter the cabin. Oh? Why not? It was locked from the inside. I tried knocking, but no one opened the door. It was locked? That's right. It's a public service bus, for pity's sake. That's not what I call fair play.
Yes, I had exactly the same experience. I tried knocking, but the gent inside just gestured at me to clear off. So I had no choice but to climb up to the roof deck and look down longingly into the warm cabin below.
Well, I can assure you I wasn't just looking down. I was glaring, long and hard. That's precisely when I can tell you with absolute confidence that if there was anyone else at all in that cabin, I would have noticed. So I guess this begs the question, is there anywhere in the cabin somebody could hide, pop out and kill, and then go back into hiding? Unequivocal, I would say. I'm not sure about these two witnesses. Could they really have seen everything inside the cabin through the skylight? They might not have been able to. Allow me to confirm one thing, Mr. Fairplay. You were riding this omnibus. You think maybe a knife taped to a shot put ball? No, fail. That would break the glass, silly. And witnessed the events in the cabin through the skylight in the top floor of the upper deck. Is that right? That's right, yes. In that case, there is a portion of the cabin interior that would have been out of sight from you. What?
By golly, really?
Obviously, at this stage, we can't say for sure, but the possibility cannot be denied. And at the time of the incident, there could have been another passenger in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus.
Objection!
Enough hypothetical meandering, my Nipponese friend. The prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims. After all, the scene of the crime is here in the flesh. Hey, what's up, Golden Wolf? Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's demand. You will identify the area on this cross-sectional plan of the omnibus. Where exactly in the omnibus are you suggesting that this potential extra passenger could have been situated? Probably here. Have I saved? Do I need to? I don't think I need to.
Take that!
Yeah, so people warned me about that. Initially failed, but it's actually kind of like Danganronpa. What is that picture? Oh, Tim, is there a problem? Oh, actually, I mean, what picture? Is that the new Genshin character? He's not new, but he does have a banner up. It's cringe. Aw. Y'all are just haters. You're not Tartaglia stans like me. Also, you might not get it, Storm. You don't get it. I downloaded the game recently, but you haven't played much. Oh, it's super addicting. Be careful. I know, the strings are giving him ass burn. He's doing the crouching pose of a character from Guilty Gear. That's why it's here. And we're using it because he's hot. Yeah, Storm just doesn't get it. Please excuse him. Both rows of seats on the roof face in the direction of travel, whereas the seats in the enclosed cabin face each other, which means the visible part of the cabin, which passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight, is as I've drawn here. It's so funny that you said that, Tim, because as soon as you sent that message, Kevin woke up. Hey, Kev. You're gonna hurt your neck doing that.
More than it already is.
Yeah, so, Tim, were you able to download Among Us? Please hurry, it's urgent. That's right, my lord. As you can see, the seat opposite the one with the victim and his attacker were sitting is obscured from view. Yeah, you get to kill Tim. I'll protect him, though, with my life. Actually, every time I try to protect somebody in Among Us, they always are the murderer, and then they kill me. So maybe I'll persuade somebody else to do it. In other words, if someone had been sitting on that seat, it's quite possible that these witnesses would have been completely unaware of it.
Objection!
It's quite possible some phantom was sitting there.
Love that.
You Nipponese have a forbidding habit of obscuring the truth with ambiguity.
Yeah, Golden Wolf. If you want to join us for Among Us, we'll be playing some tonight. I'm planning on starting it in about 2 hours. I want to get a solid segment in on Ace Attorney. If we finish this trial before then we might move it forward a little. Van Zeeks is so hot, but so problematic. Agreed. He's wonderful. The main character is more my type, though.
I concur with the prosecution's rejoinder. In a British court of law, evidence is paramount. I cannot entertain this conjecture, counsel. That is, unless you're able to put a name to this mysterious passenger to whom you allude.
Yeah, cool, Golden Wolf. Are you in our Discord? Ah. See, Storm, you're the best. You get me. I was expecting to get red for having basic tastes, but instead you agreed with me. Hold on, let me give the role to Golden Wolf and to Tim, because they're both gonna play. Maybe. Oh, you can't voice chat. Okay, yeah. What we do a call when we play, so that would be a problem. Well, I guess now that we're here in Discord, we might as well just give Tim the role. Perfect. Okay. We just need to get a bandana on him. Oh, Kazuma was really great. It's so sad that they snuffed him out in the second trial.
Can you, Mr. Naruhodo?
I honestly don't know. Who could it have been? Who could have been in the other seat, which was out of sight from the witnesses on the roof deck? I have an inkling. I understand, my lord. The defense would like to put forward a name. Well, Tim has never played Among Us, Dammy, so I think none of us have had the experience. Also, he does this, which is amazing. You are a fool. That response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion of his own limitations. A toast to hard lessons not yet learned. Let us not delay, Counsel. The defense is still to name the passenger in the other seat. This could be it. This could be the chance I've been waiting for to turn the trial in my favor. On that night, on the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat in the omnibus cabin... Oh, shit. Susato! No. Strongheart. I just realized that this guy's name is Lady First. Oh dear. Am I allowed to look at my court record? Not. Oh shit, I don't know. Oh my. Give me a quick second, guys. I'm gonna be right back. Oh, we're back. Yes.
With the rice or with the chicken?
Probably rice. Alright. So I really don't know what name they're trying to get me to say. So we can rule out Susato. There's no way he has nothing to do with this case, so I don't think it was him. Now, this is an interesting option because Strongheart is too hot. I don't. Oh, god damn it, Matt. I think he's the one that put us up to doing this case. So he doesn't have anything to do with it. Not the actual crime, anyways. It couldn't have been the defendant. That would make no sense. The victim couldn't have been it. So that means it's one of these three? Why do I feel like it has... If we're narrowing it down to these three, I feel like it has to be Beppo. But if that's the case, then who the hell was driving the horses? He owed the defendant a considerable sum of money. So did this one. I'm gonna guess Beppo. I'm really not sure.
Take that!
Yes, concealed in the blind spot of the cabin that night was none other than this unexpected passenger. Whatever so-called logic you used to arrive at that conclusion, it matters not. Because your answer has made one thing abundantly clear. The real blind spot is inside your head, and it would appear to be unusually large. You could have just said that's not right. Mr. Naruhodo, our task here is to defend Mr. McGilded. Okay, hold on. Hold on. His face is partially obscured from view by an old crooked hat. I was hoping we would see another name in here or something. Okay. So the two people sitting inside the cabin that were witnesses saw through the skylight that night. Ah, okay, that was the hint that we needed. So they're trying to make us say that Mr. McGilded is the one that is out of sight. I see. That makes more sense.
Take that!
The passenger in the enclosed cabin that the witnesses on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. Magnus McGilded. Mr. McGilded?
What are you talking about, Counsel? That's the name of the defendant!
Objection!
If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hallowed chalice, do forgive the discourtesy. Lord Van Zykes! People talk of those tiny island nations in the Far East having a learning and culture of their own. But I see they use the terms ill-advisedly. What are you trying to say? Let me explain in terms that even a student of an artless backwater, such as yourself, might understand. When the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailant were sitting side by side. Multiple witnesses have attested to the fact. It's the very premise on which the case is built.
Objection.
But that premise may be wrong.
What?
If the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGilded, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way.
What inconsistency, Counsel?
The defendant's gloves, my lord. Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claimed that there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim.
Objection!
Yet, we only know the truth to be otherwise. Only one glove bears the gory remains.
And the point is, even in the face of this irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance.
Yes, their testimony remains unchanged.
Exactly. They both adamantly swear that they clearly remember seeing blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, their memory of the events is correct, and their testimony reveals the truth. It was somebody else sitting beside the victim that night, a third party we have yet to identify. And the victim's blood was on the passenger's hands, both of them.
Objection!
And who was this third party?
Obviously, the true culprit.
Extraordinary!
But we don't know who it is.
Order, order, order! What exactly are you postulating?
Objection!
The defendant's postulation is just that, nothing more than conjecture. Armin, are you enjoying Ace Attorney? I'm happy to see that you're hanging out during it.
The witnesses have clearly stated that they saw the accused
But when elaborating on his testimony, Mr. Fairplay said the two of them were wearing hats, and I couldn't exactly make out their faces.
Yes.
Have we considered the possibility that Susato knows how to teleport and go to the SS Brilliant to the omnibus? We haven't considered that yet, Dots. Susato does seem quite savvy. The Mikon effect. Traveling at light speed. I still remember how triggered you were, Fail. That was amazing. We can't go into too much detail, though. The tops of their heads were obscured by the roof. I could see the rest of them, though. Yep, that's right. Both gents were most certainly hatted. Hatters do tend to notice such things, sir.
And what particular styles of hat did the two gentlemen sport, Mr. First?
Yeah. I'm afraid I don't remember. And you call yourself a hatter?
The style of hat makes no difference. There was no third passenger in the cabin.
How can you be so sure?
Because if there had been, the accused Mr. McGilded would undoubtedly have offered to dispose the fact.
But he was asleep.
Unless, that is, you are proposing an even more preposterous explanation. That the accused failed to even notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin in which he traveled.
Ah! He's right. If there was another person traveling in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus, it's inconceivable that Mr. McGilded would have been unaware of it.
Order! There is clearly a simple solution to this problem. Bring the accused, Mr. McGilded, to the stand. Well, what say you, counsel? The prosecution objects, my lord. On what grounds? As a suspect, he will have already made a full statement to the police.
But what if there's some reason why he's unable to speak freely?
Magnus McGilded is no uneducated ruffian. If it indeed turns out the man has been withholding information, you can be sure it will have been a most deliberate act. Counsel for the defense, what is your opinion? My lord?
Should we ask McGilded to testify or not? Demand his testimony. Yes, we need to hear what he has to say in order to find out the truth. The defense would like to call Mr. McGilded to the stand.
In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the jury. Yes, I need a little time to consider.
If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGilded has to say. Get the man out here, I say!
It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony.
When something needs doing, get it done. That's how I run things at the guild. Hearing what the patron of my favorite little park has to say? Oh, yes, that would be lovely.
Yes, the jury says that the man must be heard. Very well, the court will hear the defendant's testimony.
I know, literally godmother, she just knitting. She actually saved the trial very early on. All 5 of the other jurors had decided that the defendant was guilty almost right off the bat, and she was the outstanding one that was like, I don't know. And then based on that, it started a discussion, and we turned the whole thing around.
Bailiff, show the defendant to the stand at once.
Now, maybe what actually happened that night will finally become clear. He fell asleep. He told us he falls asleep on trips. We know exactly how this is going.
Let proceedings be resumed. Mr. McGilded, have you been listening to the discourse of the day?
To be sure I have, my lord.
There are now two matters on which the court desires to hear from you. The first is whether or not there was a third party with you in the omnibus cabin as proposed by the defense. The second is that if such a person was indeed present, why did you conceal the fact from the police?
Begad, no. 'Tis not in my nature to hide anything at all.
Just answer the question, please.
Is there entry in?
Don't let her in your teapot. Don't let her in. She'll burn your grass to the ground. Don't let her in.
I was just accepting her friend requests. But good to know.
The truth of the matter is, I've been desperate about this all along. I do tell yous all, or keep my mouth shut. I don't know why I'm struggling with this so much. Tell us what, Mr. McGilded? The fine fella representing me is absolutely right. In the carriage on the night with myself and the other man, there was another passenger.
It's true?
Aye, and it was me who helped the little urchin get away with it. Get away after it all happened. You... What?
No, Magnus McGilded. That convenient excuse can't save you now.
I'm truly sorry, so I am, Lord Van Zykes. It's okay, his back is in better shape than Tartaglia's. At least. I'm sure you'll be wanting to know why I said nothing when I was taken in by the police. I do be having a very good reason, I assure you.
Which was?
Well, the little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and not in any way involved, you see?
What?
If the police had known the wee one was there, they'd have assumed she'd done it. They'd have hauled her into this here courtroom, just like myself. I was only trying to spare her that. Young hearts and young minds are easily damaged, my lord.
And who was this young child of whom you speak?
That I do not know.
You don't know.
Aye, well, the wee ting just happened to be in the carriage that night. I never saw her before or since.
Objection!
We have absolutely no reason to believe this man. This prosecution calls for the witnesses' statements to be disregarded by the court.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the urchin isn't here in this courtroom as we speak, listening to the proceedings.
What?
Smoke? Fire! There's a fire! Someone's getting away. Wait, what? What is going on?
Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Cover your face.
Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus. I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom.
We were hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff. Amid the scenes of chaos as people stumbled over one another in their desperation to flee the chamber, we had no idea what was happening. All we knew was that, for the time being at least, the trial was suspended. Oh boy. What on earth just happened in there?
Mr. Naruhodo, I've managed to find out what happened.
Miss Susato?
I was told it was an advanced form of smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke.
A smoke grenade? It sounds like the sort of things ninjas use.
They're just making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long.
But who would have done something like that?
The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently.
Flee the courtroom? Why?
Well, it's a young girl of around 15, I hear.
A young girl? Then could it be the other passenger that Mr. McGilded was talking about?
My thoughts exactly.
So he wasn't lying. Oh, what's become of Mr. McGilded, actually? There are so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not here.
I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions, along with the young girl.
Who is she, I wonder? And what was she even doing here at the trial? She was taking a huge risk, and for what possible benefit to herself?
Here's another matter that's troubling me.
What's that?
20 pence.
Oh,
According to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 4 passengers that night at a rate of 5 pence each. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly. And now it seems that we have, in fact, 5 passengers, which means the figures don't seem to add up again.
she's right. That is strange. Counsel for the defense, kindly proceed into the courtroom. The trial will recommence in 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away.
Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of the trial.
We'll know soon enough, Miss Susato.
Yes!
This character is fantastic. Oh, really? Let's see. There's a young girl next to Mr. McGilded. Look. She must have been the one who caused the disturbance before. Which certainly was against the law, so, Well, after that rather uneventful recess... Eventful recess. The court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilded. Now then, Lord Van Zykes. My lord, I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which veiled the proceedings earlier. It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade, of the sort typically employed by the army. Good gracious, the army? What in the devil's name? It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught. And now occupies the stand. Your name, girl. Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom? What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior? Ahem, if I may, my lord. Yes, Mr. McGilded. I think perhaps I ought to explain here, which is why that this wee lass was here in the first place, and why she tried to bolt like that. 'Tis all tied up with the events of that night, so it is. Very well, Mr. McGilded, give your testimony. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case. Just what did happen that night? It's not like a defense lawyer needs that information or anything. On that night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus promptly nodded off. And Begora, a loud thud, and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I sat him up on the seat across from me. When I turned to find out that the scream had come, where the scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. I remain somewhat baffled, I confess. But from what I gather, on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus, is that correct? It is exactly as the defense counsel said. This lass was the 5th passenger, my lord. Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses. Are you ready, counsel? Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I have no idea where to start.
Hold it!
And when you first got into the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board? There were not. The cabin was empty and there was no one on the roof deck either. You were the first passenger, as it were. I see. Aye, and that's why I took the back side as I did. 'Tis the most comfortable, so it is. Could you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat? By all means. 'Tis how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one in which the poor gentleman who was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, 'tis the most comfortable and where I feel most at ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well.
Hold it!
A loud thud, you say? And a scream? Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? 'Twas like the sound of someone falling to the ground. That sort of noise. So you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor, having been stabbed? Well now, you'll remember I was asleep at the time. Oh, is it picking up my AC? I'm gonna turn off the AC soon, so no worries. When the sound woke me and I opened my eyes, there wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage, but the fella on the floor. You didn't see anyone, but at the same moment, you did hear a scream? Ah, from the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume. Not above me, no, my lord. 'Twas from inside the cabin. But I wasn't thinking about the scream. I was too stunned by the desperate sight before my eyes. There was a fella collapsed on the floor.
Hold it!
Okay. You sat him up? The victim, you mean? That I did. On the seat across from me, as I said, I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would you? 'Tis common courtesy, so it is. I find that a little hard to believe. Ah, Lord Van Zykes. How would that be? You You wake to find a man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabman. Any upstanding member of London society, that is. Yeah, I've literally seen you do that, Jam, so it checks out. Well, now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business. The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest. Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer them, and some would even see me dead. So I do try, where at all possible, to avoid getting myself in a tangle with trouble. Are you suggesting that you were going to leave the man there? Heavens alive, no. I was always intending to report it, so I was. Only I had a mind to find out the whys and wherefores first. The whys and wherefores? Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. Yeah, did McGilded mark up your Pokemon cards that you were opening today, Jam? That wee scream I heard, for example. Wouldn't your good self do just the same? Yes, the scream he says he heard at the same time as the thud of the victim collapsing.
Hold it!
I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court that there was no one else in the carriage except yourself and the victim. So I did, sir, so I did. As far as I could see, that is. What do you mean by that? Well now, 'tis a queer thing. The wee scream I heard as I woke up, it came from, if you'll excuse the vulgar expression, under my backside.
Good gracious!
Under your backside? And when I lifted the seat on which I'd been sitting, I found there was a wee cubby hole there for storage. Mr. Naruhodo, we can examine the omnibuffs ourselves, remember? The seat looks reasonably soft. The seat has a handle, it seems. This is a storage compartment, but there's nothing in here. It's totally empty. Something doesn't seem right here, but I can't put my finger on what it is. This one doesn't have the same thing. Yes, of course. The whole bus was submitted as evidence. This would be a very good time to have a thorough look around inside. And that's when I found her.
Hold it!
You say she was hiding herself? Aye, that's right. Here's the thing, though. The girl can't be the murderer because he was sitting on the seat. You literally need to flip up the seat in order to get to that compartment. So, he's not guilty because he was asleep. The girl is not guilty because she was in the compartment beneath where he was sitting. So, somebody else... I'm guessing she's going to give us information that tells us who the actual killer was. It was hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she was all curled up in a wee ball. When our eyes met, well... We don't know yet, Jam. We just know that she was there, and she's there on the stand to testify. My heart suddenly stopped beating in my chest. Ugh, you're really overreacting this. Still, all in all, I pulled her out from under there. And sat her up on the seat opposite so I could have a wee chinwag with her. The seat opposite? That's right, just next to the dead gentleman there. Okay, that's...
You sat this young girl next to a corpse, sir.
Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. So, I needed to find out just who this little urchin was, you see. And while I was in the middle of talking to her, I heard another scream, a fella's voice this time. So, why did neither of the people on the roof tell us that they saw a child? Huh? Presumably that scream was Mr. First, who was sitting on the roof deck seats. Right you are again, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen this young girl and the gentleman with the knife in his belly.
In other words, the previous witnesses did not, in fact, see you at all, Mr. McGilded.
Oh my.
What they believed to be yourself and the victim was in fact this girl and the late Mr. Mason.
Aye, my lord. I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage out of sight. Oh, it's just the voice he ended up with, Kisuan.
It certainly is plausible.
Yeah, but I'm really bad at English accents, so...
The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature, and readily confused, perhaps, with this young girl.
And that, of course, with the scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled up the horses. That's right, Fail.
Thank you, I've heard enough. The events as explained are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is the girl?
Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer. Earns her crust among large crowds relieving people of their purses. That's commonly called a pickpocket.
What? This girl here, a petty thief? Order, order. Is this true, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question.
She just shot the judge.
How dare you? What is the meaning of this? Ah, the girl, she's gone.
Open your eyes. I'm over here.
Good gracious, how?
What was the point in that little sidestep? I know what you lot are thinking. Grown-ups are all the same. This dirty little dipper, you'll say, slipped up and got caught on the job. She got herself backed into a corner, so she knifed the gen. Go on, that's what's in your head, ain't it?
No, not at all.
This is a court of law. We're here to determine the truth, not... Yeah, Ryunosuke is literally jam right now. Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need for what I do is these fingers. Yeah, don't.
You will suffer!
I'm a professional, alright? Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do. I like her scarf. Let me guess, you don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs? Oh, this? Yeah. This was in a bag I lifted the other day. Down where they keep the four-wheel drags. It's nice, isn't it? I like the pink best.
Do not wave that thing in my direction again.
Oh, his chalice is back.
So, you admit you were riding the omnibus on the night in question.
She's making a Tux face. "'Tis all right, lass. You can tell him for now." Yeah, he threw away the defense percent one. Alright, yeah, it's just like the Irishman said. Oh shit, Kisawan was right, he is Irish. McGilded, that does sound quite Irish.
The court accepts this girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in this case. Accordingly, young lady, you will now hear your testimony. We will hear your testimony, if you please. You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night in question.
Oh, she's making a Tux face. Alright, if I have to. So I snuck inside the carriage before they looked up at the horses, just like always. But it was right. It was a right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for my troubles that night. I'll tell you, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out of my skin, I did, and the scream just came out. It's because of that, this swell found me. He did help me get away, mind. Yes, he let you go.
I fail to understand why you would let this street urchin go, Mr. McGilden.
Oh, 'tis simplicity itself, my lord. You see, she couldn't possibly have killed the other passenger. I knew that for a fact. How? As I'm sure I said before, sir. Yeah, this is fairly obvious. I was sitting on top of the place where she was hiding herself.
I think a demonstration is called for.
This is where I sat that night. And the cubbyhole of which you spoke is underneath this... Oh,
and the cubbyhole of which you have spoken is underneath the seat, I presume.
Yes, it does appear just large enough to accommodate someone of this girl's stature. But of course, the wee lass was stuck in there. Because I'd parked myself on the seat for the duration.
Ah!
As you can see, that's why I let the last bolt. I knew that if the police had found her there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it. But I couldn't live with myself if a young life was ruined when all the time I knew she was innocent.
Even though you might have realized your action would result in your own innocence being called into question.
Not at all, my lord, not at all. I knew in my own heart that I was innocent. So I thought it was worth taking a punt on my own good name for the sake of the less fortunate lass. My goodness. What a perfect gentleman.
My lord! This fine example of a man cannot possibly be guilty of a heinous crime like this. I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sir. Woo! But we still don't know who did it. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Saints alive! All 6 members of the jury, consensual in their learning to a verdict of not guilty. I know, the typewriter lady is fucking incredible. I like the old woman too.
Mr. Naruhodo, this, well, it must mean...
Oh, it must mean what?
that we're victorious!
Typewriter juror is your spirit animal. I know, she doesn't even have a name. She's just juror number 4?
We've won? Are you sure?
Objection!
If the sight of my iron-heeled Wellington offends, pray, do forgive the discourtesy.
Kevin, this guy just pulled a U. He just took his leg and... on the table with it. Just like that.
And he has his chalice in his other hand.
They're all shocked. They even showed Typewriter Chan. Oh my god, amazing. This really is a consummate example of the one monumental flaw in British judicial practices, where evidence and reason should be paramount. Emotion rules the day. Emotion. The witness's last statement gives us clear insight into his true nature.
What do you mean, his true nature?
Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers of the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witness put it, was included in their investigation. The compartment under the posterior seat was full of the coachman's belongings. It's noted in black and white here in the police report. Good lord! The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGilded's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seat. What? Order! Order! How could such a devious contrivance possibly have been effected, counsel? Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary... I don't know this word. In allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning,
Oh, excellent, E-tier. What score did you get?
the compartment under the seat was not empty. Well, my Nipponese friend.
Me?
When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail, as would any self-respecting practitioner of the law. Pray, for what did you find the condition of the under-seat compartment to be?
Oh, to be sure, the young gentleman will be able to clear this up in a jiffy. Sorry? Go ahead. You tell the court now, fella. How this is all an elaborate excuse by the desperate Lord Van Zykes. Well, counsel, do you have something to say on this matter? A-tier, what? How am I supposed to answer this? What can I say about the state of the little compartment under the seat in the omnibus? It was empty. Yes, I'm fairly sure it was empty. If I'm honest, my memory about all this is a little hazy. As I suspected. It seems, my lord, that this Eastern initiate has the scruples of a by-street wine merchant.
Mr. Naruhodo!
Oh, I'm supposed to say I didn't look. Perfect. 'Tis why the fella is representing me, after all. He knows just what to say, does he not? Well now, it would seem the argument is moot, and the truth of the matter is therefore for yous all to see, after all. That there cubbyhole under the seat is as empty as the devil's heart, so it is.
That can be sure of, at least.
Why? Why do I feel like something's not right here?
I would like the jury to weigh in on this matter, I think.
Takes it. I respect it.
The compartment is designed to house equipment used to maintain the smooth running of the carriage. The Guild's rules state that the omnibuses should be properly and fully equipped at all times, so it certainly would have been empty on the night in question. Beppo isn't that irresponsible. That money-lending fleecer and the pick purse are lying.
Oh, bitch. I can't believe I was nearly taken in. The stinking rich are always stinkers. Nothing but cowards, the lot of them. What? Oh no. It's a trick! Of course it's a trick! God damn it. Old Lady Chan, please save us. Quite so. I must concur here. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Yes, but every time a different truth, it seems. My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly a verdict of not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate.
Thank you, counsel. This is a roller coaster, I agree. But before we proceed any further, there is the matter of the outstanding cross-examination. Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witnesses, please.
Yes, my lord. What just happened? The whole balance of this trial just shifted, almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Bailey is at work, it would seem. So, you were already in the omnibus before it even set off on its run. Well, yeah, I mean, what's the point in spending a joey to make a few bob, eh? That's a rum idea, innit? Fuck. I suppose she means that there's no point in spending money to make money. It actually makes sense.
Counsel, may I remind you that this girl is a petty thief. Kindly refrain from entertaining her tenants.
Well, that does clear up a little mystery of the fares and all. 4 paying passengers at 5 pence apiece, making the 20 of which the cabman testified. And 1 little scapegrace riding in for free. The red conch of a driver always goes for some grub before is the last run, see? So that's when I slip into the carriage and get myself hidden under the seat. Nice and easy, right?
But your hiding place is a storage compartment, full of empty equipment, for the coach, no?
Yeah, there's brushes and buckets and whatnot in there, sure. I always chuck all that out and cram it in a corner somewhere. No one ever seems to bother much.
And yet, according to the report filed by the police officer who first arrived at the scene, the compartment was full of such paraphernalia.
Well, I don't know nothing about that. Like I said, I moved all that stuff out so I could hide under the seat. That's all I can tell you. That is very suspicious. That makes me suspect the cab driver.
It seems like we've reached the end of that line of inquiry. Continue.
It was right. A waste of time. I got nothing to show for the trouble.
Hold it!
Okay. A waste of time? Why is that? Well, most nights I'm on my own in the God permit, at least some of the time.
I beg your pardon. What did you say, God permit?
Oh yeah, well, that's what my kind call it. You'd say the omnibus, I suppose. Point is, any normal run, the carriage ain't got no one in it for a while. That's when you come out of your hiding place and get away? That's it. Only that night. This cove was sat on me seat from the start. And he didn't budge the whole way, did he? Not 1 inch. I was totally stuck. How are you even stealing anything from people in an omnibus if you're hiding in a compartment under a seat? Like, you're gonna pop out and then what?
Do you mean to tell us that you were present in the carriage for the duration? You were under the seat the entire time while events unfolded in the enclosed cabin?
Yeah. Right, mister?
To be
To be sure, I was as shocked as anyone. You don't expect to lift the cushion you've been sat on and find a child now, do you? So this Miss Lestrade couldn't possibly be the culprit then.
Hold it!
So you couldn't see out into the cabin at all. Oh my. What is corrosion? Not a jot. Most days I push the cushion up with me, Ed, and lock out of the crack. When I can have a butcher's at who I'm gonna fiddle. I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher. I mean, I can have a look. The seat I get under ain't as plush as the other ones, see? So most of the time, the passengers plant themselves opposite. But for some reason that night, this here Irishman spent the whole journey right over McEd. For that reason, you weren't able to push the cushion up to peek out. I see. Truth is, I ain't too happy in small dark places. Feels too much like being thrown in the clink. But it's the only place to hide from them in them carriages, so it's Hobson's choice. Why doesn't she just stick to picking people's pockets in the open then? I'd say there was some reason that she's not letting on, judging from her demeanor. So anyways, I was a bit scared, but I had to stick it out under there. Nothing else for it. There's very little of this game that's actually voice acted, so probably not. If anything, it would be like, objection! I feel like I owe him a voice command, because I like him. You know, waifu, whatever, but we'll see.
Hold it!
Yeah, he deserves at least one. I agree. I absolutely agree. Hold it. Could be. Give me another quick second, guys. I'm gonna run to the bathroom again, because, small...
Where are you? Where are you?
Well, no, they're like scattered throughout the mountain.
Yeah. I don't know. All I know is I can't find it anymore. I've been trying to do it. I can get fucking ice ones randomly, but I should probably do the quests.
Wait a minute. Error connecting to web by proxy. Did my Nightbot just die? Are the voice commands working? Because that's done through a different bot.
Hello?
Oh yeah, those are fine. Huh.
Oh, that's that.
I guess Nightbot might be having a moment. Oh, even Waifu is working, so what?
It's so much fun!
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I got no idea. When you say a loud bang, do you mean the noise of someone falling to the floor? Could have been, I suppose. I don't really remember so well. I have a question. Are there any shiny Pokemon you don't like? Are the broken wife... Yeah, there are. Let me know when there's a link that doesn't work. Furious's link works, though. So that one's not broken. But yeah, for shiny Pokemon I don't like, probably the ones where they just made them like a weird green. There's a lot of just like green shinies and I'm like, why is this a thing? Okay. Point is, it made me jump. And you let out a scream, involuntarily. That's right. And when I felt the cushion over me head get lighter all of a sudden, presumably when the defendant got up in order to help the victim, yes. Or not. It could equally have been the moment the accused stood in order to stab his victim, could it not? Well, girl, did you see what happened at that crucial moment? Yeah, I saw it. Gasp. Gasp! I pushed up the cushion and add a quick butcher's while I had the chance, didn't I? The Irishman was sitting up, the bloke had fallen to the floor on the seat opposite. That matches Mr. McGilden's account, of course. But then, the fella suddenly turns around and looks right at me. I sunk back down again, and it was too late. I should have never risked looking. Right.
Hold it!
And when Mr. McGilded discovered you, he pulled you out from your hiding place? I was scared stiff, I was. He dragged me out and sat me down on the seat and all. Next to the victim, Mr. Mason. Yeah. The bloke had a knife in his guts. He was still bleeding. Yeah, Phil's right. When the carriage lurched a bit, and he ended up falling onto me. How awful. Both me hands got covered in blood. It made me feel sick as a dog. Both her hands covered in blood. That must be what the rooftop passengers saw. After that, I believe you talked with Mr. McGilded for a while, is that correct? He asked me some stuff, wanted to know my name and what I was up to in that. Then I heard something from up above. Someone screamed. Yes, Mr. First on the roof deck, one would presume. Well, I didn't want no one seeing my face, so I didn't look up. When the horses were drawn up smartish, and this ear Irishman says to me, get back under the seat. I'll see that you can get away later.
All 6 members of the jury had decided the defendant was innocent.
For one brief, shining moment, yes.
It's clear they're all still very unsure. If we could just find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony, I'm sure we could clinch the verdict we want.
Yes, I think you're right. And I have this niggling feeling. Something's bothering me, but I just can't quite put my finger on it.
Yes?
Oh.
It's so weird.
She's the leader of the resistance, Kevin. I love this shirt.
Hold it!
Okay, we already read this. So, at some point, we are going to have to use evidence to prove something.
How do you change your traveler's elements?
You do it at the statues of the 7 in the region that you want. Yeah, you like Akihiko, Golden Wolf? Akihiko's a good guy.
Oh, the blessing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have him in your party.
Yeah.
Oopsie.
Kevin.
Oopsie doopsies.
Okay.
I guess he's got a spare. I feel like
What do they want me to do here?
Hold it! Excuse me.
Let me ask you something, Mr. McGilded. Oh, and what would that be, fella? Do you have something to say about that last statement? No, not really. I'm altogether happy with what's been said. Kind of ye to ask, still and all. I am not sure. He doesn't seem like he reacts to anything that she says is the problem.
Hold it!
I feel like she's hesitating a lot with this statement, but it doesn't seem like we can do much about it.
Hold it!
I'm just going through this dialogue again to see if McGilded responds to anything. But he doesn't. It must be evidence. We must have to present evidence? But I don't know. Okay, well wait. Him falling over her and getting her hands bloody. He's still, in this picture, he's still pressed up against the wall. Is that even, like, worth mentioning? That's like my only thing I can think of. it's a little confusing at this point, Jam, because this girl was hiding under the seat. But I can't tell what the game wants me to do. Because it sounds like she was stuck under the place he was seated, and he was sleeping. He wakes up. He stands the dead dude up on the seat for some reason. She looks up. He notices that the seat lifts. He finds her, then sits her down and questions her, but... like, I want to be able to click on him and, like, call him out during one of her confessions while I'm pressing her, but he doesn't react to anything that she says. Right, so I think I must use evidence here, but I'm not really sure, like, what I'm supposed to use, because it's all just her account. Snuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always. Like... I don't really have a lot to go off of. The knife in his abdomen is clearly visible, but his face is partially obscured from view by an old crooked hat. Leather gloves the defendant was wearing at the time. There is a blood stain on the right glove. 8-seater omnibus. That was the scene of the crime. There were passengers both inside the carriage and on the roof deck that night. So, like, we have almost nothing to go off of. Hey, Fletching Phoenix. Okay. I thought for a second, maybe, like, the knife? The knife is noted to be valuable, but she didn't take it. Aha! There's a reaction. We didn't notice this before.
Excuse me.
Is something wrong, Mr. McGilden? Oh, I do apologize. Was there something the matter, Counsel? I'm just wondering if Miss Lestrade's last comment made something occur to you, perhaps. You seem to be thinking something to yourself. Oh, no. 'Twas nothing important. I was feeling bad for the poor lass is all. I remember feeling desperate myself as a young lad, shut up in the dark. 'Twas terrifying, so it was. I see, yes, I'm sure we can all sympathize. I'm still scared of the dark now. Aye, and I don't know about yourself, but I find that the darkness seems to make everything you hear seem that much louder as well. Yeah. I suppose it does, maybe. Miss Lestrade? Did you hear something that night? Anything? An unusual noise, perhaps? Nah, not really. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. But jabbers, there's no need to tell the whole world of my foibles, you little scamp.
What a pity. If only Miss Lestrade had heard something, it might have given us a vital clue.
Yes. What should we make of that last statement of hers? It's profoundly important. My lord, I believe the statement just made by the witness is profoundly important.
Profoundly important. But all she said was that she heard nothing.
Yes, which is the profoundly important point. I'm almost sure of it.
I'm almost sure that I don't understand the inner workings of your Eastern Mind, Council. Nevertheless, Miss Gina Lestrade, you will supplement your formal testimony by repeating the last statement, please.
What? Supplement? What are you on about? Don't give me all your fancy talk. I know what you're trying to do. Well, it won't work on me. That's right, insult the judge. Always a good move. I mean, she already shot him, so... I was straining my ears to work out what was going on, but all I could hear was snoring.
Hold it!
All you were... So you were straining to hear what was happening the entire time? Since the moment you hid yourself? Not exactly. No. Sorry? Well, there was no one in the cabin to start with. I could just push the cushion up and have a butcher's to see what was what. But then, when I saw this swell getting on, it got me head down, so you didn't notice me. And Mr. McGilded sat on the seat under which you were hiding, correct? Yeah. You would Adam and Eve it, eh? What a mug. So then, all I could do was listen. I was waiting to jump out of there as soon as I heard him leave, see? But would he? Not likely. Even though we stopped here and there, I never heard the door open. So I just had to stay put and listen to him driving his pigs to market. Snoring like an old dog he was. Are there any conclusions we can draw from that, I wonder? Makes sense. Yeah, I swallowed that wrong. Well, that all seems to make sense.
You took your time reaching that conclusion, Council.
Heh. Was that from Van Zykes? Is he laughing?
Very well, then. Continue with the cross-examination.
After a while, I hear this loud bang nearly jumped out of my skin, and the scream just came out. Okay, so I think I was supposed to... Okay. Yeah, we fucked up. We fucked up. I should say it doesn't add up when it gives me that choice, and then it'll proceed the dialogue, I think.
Hold it!
Okay. Oh. I wonder if we should talk to him about this. Well, it doesn't add up because Mr. McTophat doesn't... Oh, is supposed to have gotten up to kill the dude. Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me.
Let me ask you something, Mr. McGilded. Oh. I thought that was a reaction. Oh, the game didn't ding me for it, which is nice.
Hold it!
Okay. Miss Lestrade, what you just told the court is clearly at odds with the facts.
Ah! At odds? Are you sure, man?
Absolutely.
It seems my learned Nipponese friend is not as dull-witted as I feared.
So Van Zykes realized it too. Oh god. Hey, Cortex.
Counsel! I must insist that you bolster your claim with evidence, or some complicit party's name at the very least.
Yes, my lord.
I expect you to demonstrate this alleged contradiction to the court.
According to Miss Lestrade, whilst she was hiding in the omnibus that night, she heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGilded snoring. But think, Ryunosuke, think! There's something else she would have heard. The sound of the guy dying? Okay, let's think about our evidence. I don't think presenting any of this would result in a good... The driver came back only after he heard the guy on the rooftop scream, which wasn't until after the girl was already out of the compartment, so... I think it must be... Fuck. What if we presented one of these people? Something else that they would have heard. Yeah, Cortex. I want to say presenting him might work, because there should have been the sound of somebody killing him, or like a yelp or something. Not just snoring. Well, so the way there's... There's two seats on the interior jam, and they're facing each other. Each seat can hold... Bless you.
Sorry.
Both seats can hold two people. So the victim was sitting next to the person that killed him. So there wouldn't be steps. He would literally just... the person next to him, like, gut. Unless, if it was him, in which case she would have to hear that there was no snoring. Either that or he pretended to snore as he killed the guy. I don't know. It's a little hard to say. I think... I don't know. Yeah, there is a crime scene photo, but... She says she heard a bang. Yeah, why is there a button missing? It won't let me examine it. There's something else she should have heard. What? Very well, my lord. Allow me to elaborate. On a particular sound that Miss Lestrade could not have failed to hear on the night in question. Ah. This sound very clearly explained by the presence of the following person. This is a long shot.
Take that!
Thrice-fired Mason?
Yes, my lord. The sound that Miss Lestrade cannot have failed to hear is that of the victim, Mr. Mason, boarding the omnibus. Wait, what? I thought that was the sound of him getting murdered. Oh, we oopsed ourselves onto that one.
Order, order! Explain your reasoning, counsel!
Miss Lestrade, allow me to confirm something. You claimed earlier that you were the first person on board the omnibus, is that correct? Oh yeah, of course I was. I got on while the driver was in the pub, didn't I? And the next person on board the omnibus was Mr. McGilded? That I was. Not a soul was in the cabin when I climbed aboard. Oh my god, there was the whole thing about the door being locked. What is up with that? At least not in plain sight. So you were, to all intents and purposes, alone in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus at that time. Did I not just say as much? I wasn't traveling with anyone else, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I saw him get on it, remember? Through the crack under the seat cushion. He was on his own for sure. And from what I've heard, the carriage made a number of stops after that on its onward journey. During which time, did you not hear the door open or close at all? Nah, I never heard it. That's exactly what I was listening for, weren't it? Waiting for this swell to leave. Oh god, what if the guy was on the roof? I don't know. I don't know. What if he was on the roof and they threw him down? And that's what the loud bang was. Oh shit, so one of the it's either fair play or first that's the murderer. No, Jam, because it's part of the story that the bang happens and it wakes up McGilded. He then sees a corpse on the floor and his instinct is to put the corpse in the seat. But wait a minute. Somebody earlier, I'm pretty sure it was the driver, said that they saw the victim on the floor, not in the seat, which doesn't line up with the story. This is going to be the linchpin. Oh, fuck. Who did it then? It's one of the witnesses. It's absolutely one of the witnesses. But I feel like it's the driver being paid off by fair play or something. I bet the person that killed the guy has to have been on the roof. Because, like, how do you kill someone while you're also driving a carriage? That's just crazy. In which case... Kevin? When and how did the victim end up in the carriage? Ah! We know that the victim collapsed inside the enclosed cabin of the omnibus. Therefore, Miss Lestrade's statement about what she did or did not hear is at odds with the facts. Ah! Yes, this petty thief's statement was clearly flawed. Lord Van Zykes! Yes, he knew it. He knew all too well that there was an inconsistency in Miss Lestrade's statement. It would seem words of thanks are in order for my learned friend. What are you talking about? You have demonstrated matters impeccably. This witness and her colorful statements are entirely unreliable. Her words are convenient untruths, nothing more. The typewriter lady is like going ham.
Another happy customer.
Right and left, thank you for the follow. Why is Granny doing that? No, Phil, the betrayal! She didn't even say anything! I didn't want to judge the dear little mite just because she has some rather naughty ways. But I must say, I can't abide liars.
And neither can I.
Mr. Foreman,
I didn't want to judge the girl just because she has some less salubrious ways. But I must say, I cannot abide liars.
oh fuck, that means the maid is the only one. This back and forth though. Mr. Naruhodo, that's 5 jury members leaning towards guilty.
Well, your consideration for others is refreshing, my Nipponese friend. To the considerable troubles you have spared me. Yes, very refreshing.
What are you playing at? Have you forgotten who you're working for, you useless Eastern Amadan? This is carnage. It's perfect. Juror number 2 is the only one left. Right, I'm guessing you're a big Phoenix Wright fan. This is my first Ace Attorney game, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. Mr. Naruhodo, the way this is going... I know. If we can't find some new way to convince everyone of Mr. McGilden's innocence, the judge will rule and we'll have lost. I very much want to believe the words of one of London's most respected gentlemen, but... those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Hold it!
Yes, the witness's last statement seems to have revealed a critical inconsistency in her story. However... if we consider the possibility that her statement is in fact the truth, it may shed an entirely new light on this whole case.
What are you saying?
Counsel! I'm sorry, sir. What do you mean?
Counsel, I will not tolerate you attempting to prolong my adjudication. Explain yourself at once. When the accused boarded the omnibus on the night in question, the victim was nowhere to be seen. Subsequently, the carriage door was not heard opening a single time, as testified by the witness in the stand, and yet the victim's body was found inside the carriage.
Look, we already called this, Van Zykes, alright? You are not an ace prosecutor, it's actually me and Jam.
If this petty thief's words are to be believed,
How do you explain the victim's miraculous appearance inside the cabin of the omnibus? There's only one way to explain how the victim came to be inside the carriage. He was put there after he died. Obviously, the victim must have been placed in the carriage after he was killed.
Objection!
Tell me, my learned friend, what was the function of that obviously in your last sentence, huh? Well said, Lord Van Zykes. He obviously is troubling me also. No, that's really not the point. The point is that the victim must have been moved into the carriage afterwards. Then answer me this. How could a cadaver have been placed inside a moving carriage? Well, obviously, I shall have to penalize the defense heavily for this irrelevant rambling. Shit, so we were wrong. There's only one way to explain how the victim came to be inside the carriage. It wasn't he was put there after he died. Yeah, I noticed that as well, Cortex. So I immediately got worried after we picked that, because I'm like, oh shit. So there's no evidence that supports that there was another entrance. This isn't a window, I don't think. So, like... I guess the skylight would count? No, because... only this seat has a compartment because of the handle. This side does not. Yeah. I feel like even if we're wrong, we'll just be able to choose the next one. Because we have enough lives to do so. So... there's only one way to explain how the victim came to be inside the carriage. The girl and Mr. McGill both said that they were alone when they entered, so he couldn't have already been in there. There's another entrance. That's the only thing we could choose. We're wrong. If the door wasn't open even once, the only explanation is that the victim entered the enclosed cabin some other way.
Objection!
I wondered what new fantasy you would come up with in your blind panic. But behold, the omnibus is here for us all to see. Yeah, Dammy, that's what Jam and I were saying. If you fell through the skylight, there'd be a thud, the bang. That's it. But none of these answers truly reflect that, or at least not obviously. Only on Oh, only one side of the enclosed cabin is furnished with a door. The other has only windows. Fixed windows which cannot possibly open. In short, there is no entrance to the cabin other than the door. There could be. There's one possibility you haven't considered. Oh, really? Yes. One other way that isn't the door. Another opening of which allowed the victim to appear inside the enclosed cabin. I think we were right, actually. All right, counsel. The defense will identify the location for the court. Here is the omnibus on which the incident occurred. Where on earth is this entrance by which you propose the victim enter the cabin? Right here!
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It could only have been the skylight. I say, the skylight.
Objection!
Also, I'm gonna be completely real. The driver that charges them the fee, would he not have seen where each person is going? Did they enter the door or did they take the ladder to the roof? Why are we not telling us? Your ludicrous proposal almost has me lost for words. However,
Objection!
the skylight may well be large enough for someone to pass through.
Objection!
So you claim. But do you have a shred of evidence to support your addle-brained theory? Oh my god, yeah. Both Mr. McGilded and Miss Lestrade said the same in their testimonies. They each claimed to have heard a loud thud, which as the noise made by someone falling to the floor. Which has already been explained. As the sound of the victim falling from his seat having been assaulted with the dagger. Yes, it has, but would a man slipping from the seat onto the floor really have made such a loud noise as the witnesses describe? A noise loud enough to cause Miss Lestrade to let out an involuntary cry, in fact. Good gracious! Perhaps, in fact, that was the moment that the victim made his entrance into the cabin. No, let me rephrase that. The victim didn't enter the cabin as such. He fell into it.
Objection!
I know. You're now suggesting that the victim fell from the skylight into the cabin. That's simply impossible. How can you be so sure? Because if the victim had fallen inside through the skylight, as you say, the passengers on the roof deck would have seen it happen. And yet not one person made mention of such events in their testimony. Well, yes, that's true, but... Yeah, Golden Wolf, that's where we've been. That is what we think. Straight up. As of 10 minutes ago. Might a humble fella make a wee comment here? Mr. McGilded? To be sure now, the two fellas who were sat on the roof that testified before said nothing of the victim falling through the skylight. Yeah, I've been struggling with it, right? But I'm doing my best. Your theory is that Susato knows how to teleport. You're on... That'd be crazy. What kind of pizza did you get, Jam? You got to tell me when you get back. It seems to me, my lord, that 'tis not so much a case of them not saying, but... Tis a case of them being unable to say. Double pepperoni, yes. What is donair pizza? What is that? What? I think perhaps the two fellas do be having something of a compelling reason not to mention what happened. Would you not agree, fine ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Oh my goodness, surely not. Oh, that sounds so good, Jem. Alright, well, when Kevin and I come visit you up in Canada, Jam, we must get one. Those two chaps on the roof? I love that she doesn't even talk, she's just typewriting furiously. You mean the ones who stuck the knife in the man were... Oh! She's just...
Just what are you insinuating here, you blatherer?
You rotter, he said! You rotter! What are you insinuating?
This is a flaming outrage! I've a good mind to put you in a blinker for a minute.
Oh my god, he's doing it again.
I'll give you a thiner in a minute, he said, and so will I.
Mr. Fairplay.
You're effectively accusing me, a city gentleman and well-respected banker.
And me, a very angry hatter.
Suggesting that someone like me could have stabbed that man in the guts. It's a disgrace. It's scandalous. I'm gonna eat my cane. I protest in the strongest possible terms.
That's right, I protest too about you, you rotten scoundrel.
Order, order, order. This is not the time, witnesses. I will not permit this wanton invasion of the stand. Return to the anteroom at once. But that is beyond reason, my lord. It's outrageous.
It's very hurtful, you know.
My lord, if I may comment. Go ahead, Lord Van Zykes. It was the defense that incited this outburst from the witness. My learned friend has seen fit to abandon all protocol and accuse the witnesses without proof.
Accuse? I never intended to.
It seems, my Nipponese friend, that your command of the English tongue is wanting.
Oh, am I messing it up right? I'm so sorry.
You propose to this courtroom that the victim fell through the skylight from the roof deck of the omnibus.
Oh, it's pronounced Van Zeeks. Van Zeeks. Alright, I will correct.
No, you're wrong.
That hypothesis cannot possibly stand without the rooftop passengers being aware of the events. You have branded these gentlemen liars. You have intimated their criminal guilt. In our British courts of law, that is termed a baseless accusation.
I know I was rash to put this idea forward without any actual evidence, but you can't just dismiss it without a second thought. What are we wasting time for? Get them to testify!
I thought there was something fishy about the hat from the moment I laid my eyes on the fellow. We have to see this matter through now, one way or another.
If there's filth and rubbish in our midst, we must dispose of it at once. I love the panel of judges. It's so fun.
What's happening, Mr. Naruhodo?
The spectators in the public gallery they're in a complete frenzy.
Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. My lord. You will take the stand again and make another formal testimony in reference to the incident indictment brought by the defense. Yes, my lord.
I didn't come here for this. Yeah, Jam, I think you're right. There's no time to think this through. All I can do is keep pushing forward. Alright, here's what I'm suggesting, guys. The Among Us crew has been told to gather as of over 30 minutes ago. So, I think we save the last segment because I can feel that this is like the boiling point. Everything's gonna spill over. We're gonna get to the truth. You're gonna Hulk out? What do you mean, Jam? Jam, just play Among Us with us. Jesus. Yeah. I think you're so invested. I know. Well, we'll do it again tomorrow night. So here's what I'm suggesting. We want to do Among Us tonight. Let's do it before it gets too late for our friends that are on the Eastern Standard Time. Let's start it. We will continue tomorrow. This is a great point. It's a cliffhanger. So, right. We will be finishing this trial tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, I'm planning on Genshin Impact and Ace Attorney. Tonight, we do have promised Community Among Us. So, I want to get that going just because I don't want to get so late that my buddies on the East Coast can't play with us. Yeah, absolutely, guys. This segment was so fire. I really, really, truly enjoyed it. So let me go ahead and save here. Episode 2, I was disappointed outright because I liked Kazuma. And secondly, I feel like they harped on information that we already knew a lot, and it drove me a little bit nuts. So if I had to choose, like, between 1 and 2, the first 2 trials, the first trial I really liked because we had an idea of what was going on, but new little, like, details kept popping up, which kept it interesting. The second one, it was not as good because it wasn't even a trial. It was just an extended investigation, and there was just so much repetition. And, like, it was mixed with, like, it was mixed with comedy relief, with Sholmes, and I can do a little bit of that, but when that takes the forefront, I just don't like it that much. This, though, has gotten me back to, like, oh shit, this is why this game is really good. Like, this trial is actually super interesting, because we're looking at every little angle and trying to grasp something from it. But I will say this about the second trial. It was very strongly tied to the plot, and I think that's why it played out the way it did. Like, the death of Kazuma, us picking up his torch, and trying to accomplish what he was trying to accomplish, our relationship with Susato, we met Sholmes. Like, there was a lot of things that were embedded in that trial that like set up the rest of the game. And I understand that and I appreciate that. So it wasn't the best trial per se, but it was necessary for the game's plot. Right. Right. So anyways, we will be finishing this trial tomorrow. Yeah, Dots. I don't know.
Seesaw homicide.
Yeah, I also agree. It was probably a seesaw homicide. Let's set up Among Us. Let's do it. And those of you in chat, if you have been lurking for 35 minutes now, I'm so sorry that I didn't get to this until right now. But this was actually a very engaging trial, so
Fuck you.
really, I'd say sorry, but I'm not. I do, however, hope that everybody is still here and ready to kill each other, including Yeetir. So, let's go ahead. At what point are you planning on streaming the trial tomorrow? I would say tomorrow we will probably start the trial around 6:30 p.m. PST. 6:30 or 7 p.m. in that time frame. 7 at the absolute latest. Yeah. Oh, and right, if you're interested, I do typically post my schedule in Discord as of now Sundays. I used to do it on Mondays, but I'm doing it on Sundays now. So that's just a breakdown of the general scope of games I'm playing for the week. I do stream daily or semi-daily. Sometimes I have to cancel or I have a day off on the schedule. But there you have it. Let me go ahead and set up everything for Danganronpa.
Among Us.
What'd I say?
Danganronpa.
I said Danganronpa?
Yeah.
Alright, I meant Among Us. Yeah, Jam, apparently I said that. Apparently I just said that. It's Danganronpa in my mind. That is the truth. Okay. So wait, we need Ellie goes? Wait, Jam, are you gonna play